Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another wonderful album review that we've got for you today. So this is another request from Girl for Life. So let's have a look at what we've got for you today. So today's album is from a band called Valley. They're Canadian. They're an indie pop band. The album we're going to be listening to is called Lost in Translation. So it's a new album released in June of last year, I can now say. What do we know about Valley? They received the Juno Award nomination for Breakthrough Group of the Year. Genre indie pop. That's interesting. The band formed in 2014 after the members of two other bands accidentally got double booked for the same time slot at a local recording studio. Okay. So, there's not a great deal of information here about them. Obviously not
That's good.
Super well known.
We don't want to be too influenced.
And on Spotify, I have the album here. So, 15 songs, quite a lot of songs for a 40-minute album. So you can see here, the tracks, apart from track 2, are pretty short. A lot of the tracks are under 3 minutes long. So you'll be hearing us doing a lot of speaking during the album review as you go through each track. I don't know what to expect from this. I say I don't know what to expect from it. It's from Girl for Life, our regular contributor. So I do have an idea of what it's going to be like. I kind of imagine it in a way. I can always imagine myself saying, well, yeah, it had potential. There was a few good tracks. It was, I don't know, something was missing. It was, I don't know. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Is it going to be this one? Is this the album that's going to be the one that's like, wow, this is brilliant. I love it. It could be.
No, it could be. Yeah. No, I'm not going to say that. It's unlikely, but it could be.
I think I'm likely to just quite like it to some degree, like on the big scale of things, right? But can it actually break into sort of my albums that I really like? That's the big question. So Brett, what about you? You looking forward to it?
To try and not quote you too much, and with me, what I normally say, something that I will probably quite enjoy. I'm probably find a few songs I'll go into the playlist, and put on there. I did notice there was the sort of parental advisory sticker in the corner there, so we might have something a bit more edgy in this one, maybe compared to some of the more recent ones that we've done. But again, it's a clean slate. Okay, sort of do like that sort of rock pop indie kind of elements there. So, and the classic thing I always say as well with ones like this one, it's not a long album, very short tracks. So we don't, at least if it ends up being awful, we don't lose a lot from it. But we've got to know Girl for Life a bit there, and I feel like there will be parts we will probably like. But yeah, let's see where he rates on the Girl for Life's Richter scale that we might start having, really.
Okay, so it looks like we've come away from that kind of 80s vibe. Okay, so we're going to head off and listen to it, and we'll let you know how we got on with it in just a sec. Okay, everybody, we've now listened to the album, and you'll have also noticed a difference with me as well. So, as we did 2 weeks ago for Brett, we're going to have a quick haircut review. So, I think did I give you an 8 or a 9? I was pretty generous. So, how would you rate my hair out of 10? Obviously, 10 being incredible, 0 being absolutely awful.
Yeah, we'll have to go a bit of memory here, because obviously I can't see you now. So
can't see me.
I remember. No, I can't see when these things happen on these chats.
Should be able to see me.
I know I should,
Hang on.
but I can't.
Why can't you see me?
I don't know. I thought you knew. Yeah, for the last definitely fair few album reviews, yeah, not being able to see you.
Click on me. Click on me. Oh yeah, you can't click on me if I'm not there. But
I know what you mean, but
you need to sort something out on Skype. Go to View at the top. It says View. You can choose the different thingamajigs.
yeah, and I have there's different views there, and view, and no, it's just a picture. But
Well, you saw me a minute ago.
another time I did see it. And I go, yeah, sort of over exaggerating about how long ago I saw you, but yeah, I think yours definitely was a lot better than mine. Even mine still. I haven't done anything with it at the moment, so I'm going to go 8.5.
Oh,
Make sure
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Right, so let's get into the album review.
Conscious now.
So the first track was Theme, I think it was called, right? That's what I put here, just Theme. So what I've put like a cool start. It felt like, like cool music, quite fashionable. There was that sort of silly auto-tune voice, if that's the best way to describe it. And then that kind of stopped, and it was just some bit of music, bit of sort of background kind of music, not really much going on. So it's one of those things you can't really like it too much or dislike it too much. It's just, I don't know, like the opening introduction kind of to the album. What about you?
Yeah, as you said there, it's just sort of this opening track, which we've been having quite a few recently, which we quite like. We quite like a sort of intro into an album, I suppose. But yeah, everything you said there, we had the synthetic voices, there was high pitch points, there was sort of coolness to it. And then about halfway through, it sort of changed. So I've written here like sort of epic movie scene, just sort of all from music, and then sort of it just rolls in, ready into the sort of first proper track, which we'll get into now.
Yeah, the synthetic voicing was what I meant. Okay, so track 2 then was Lost in Translation. So I think this is quite a big song on the album in the sense of it's the title of the album, and it's also the longest song on the album. So maybe you could say I was expecting this to be maybe like the standout song, I suppose, possibly. So I thought it sounded nice, but I got a bit disappointed with it because basically there's kind of two parts to it. There was like the softly sung part and then the kind of more upbeat part. So I thought the softly sung part is pretty good. Feels very different to the loud part. The loud part seems to be a bit all over the place. So, I mean, I like it when a song builds up, as this one kind of does, but it just felt a little bit off to me when that kind of built up part. So, like I said earlier, it's the longest song on the album, name of the album too. So I put, is this their big hit? Definitely some promise to it. I quite liked it in some ways. Parts of it I liked. And I could see why someone might like this. So yeah, it wasn't bad. It's maybe something not quite right with it for me.
Yeah, you sort of put all the same sort of emotional kind of things that I came around with this as well. A bit like with something like the last I was done, like it felt like there was something missing for this one. It felt good. There was nothing to really dislike or be bad or think bad of it. Lots of things. I quite liked his voice, and at the start it was sort of this sort of singing / talking element, which I quite like. I know you quite like at times as well. The voice did sound a bit not robotic, not synthetic, just had an effect of some sort to it. But that, I said, I generally quite like that sort of sound, so it didn't bother me there. And so it just was like a really nice modern pop rock sort of ballad. But yeah, nothing too awful with it. But as you say, I think like it was just missing maybe something to make it a real sort of standout-ish kind of song, really.
So the next track was Throwback tier. So it's a little bit difficult maybe to make a lot of notes for a lot of these songs because they're quite short. So all I put here was this was a different sort of song to the previous one. It just kind of felt a bit funky, but then it kind of finished just as I was trying to think of what else to say about it, I think.
Yeah, I had the same sort of issue where a lot of them, by the time I sort of either got into the songs or it was almost, I haven't had time to really sort of think about it. It's just gone by so really quickly. I was trying to write down sort of even genre with this music, but I think you kind of probably said the best word there, maybe funky, because I've written here like Justin Timberlake, not in terms of sound, just the sort of the vibe of it, where he sort of sings but talks, and it's quite cool, and it's like being in that club. Maybe funky is kind of sort of the right sort of sound for it there, really. Again, didn't dislike it. It was over before we even started covering for some of the other tracks. Just modern, cool. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we've brought up Justin Timberlake quite a bit over the past few months, haven't we, these albums?
Yeah, especially me. I don't know why. Maybe he's always the back of my mind of some sort. But I feel like because he does have, Justin, I feel the music is quite cool. And he has a very unique sort of distinctive style, doesn't he? And I feel like when you've got something similar to that, he's just the name sort of go to. The same way I think we do a lot of punk stuff. We probably go to Green Day as our main thing. There's always people with specific genres we just sort of, what I sort of mention, I sort of just go to because it's probably the easiest thing to say or do, really.
Yeah. Good old Justin Trouser Snake. Right. Okay, so track 4 was Natural. This felt very uneventful. Feels like a typical modern day pop song. I don't mind it, but there's just nothing much to it to really grab my attention.
So normally I've always mentioned two things I sort of mentioned quite a bit is if my head's bopping, my toes tapping. I've got another one now. I've got a swaying vibe, a swaying tune. So yeah, sort of it's kind of like that. So head bopping is obvious because we toe tapping. Swaying is sort of like that really. And I quite liked it. Had something to there, but again, it was missing something to make it, that sort of make it really stand out or be really, like a big proper pop song that you could really get into. Again, really short, quick song. Couldn't really dislike it. But maybe just missing that something. But I quite liked it. And it was short, quick, nice, swaying tune for me.
Good swayer for you. Okay.
Good swayer.
Next up, then we had Break for You. I thought this one did sound more unique. It did catch my attention at least. Then it sped up for quite fast paced. It's not bad. I think I definitely preferred this song to the previous two. I mean, at least this one had a bit more about it for me. I just thought the previous two songs were just a bit meh, a bit lacking in something.
So I think it's quite similar to the previous song. And I like this one, but like I said, I did like the previous one as well there. I thought about my head bopping and toe tapping notes. Then I felt that happened straight away from the start, which is quite good. And a different band here have put quite familiar, The Weeknd. And I know he's not a band, he's just him on his own. But again, it's just that sort of real modern, that modern pop kind of feel to it. And I've also put here like an Instagram song. It's all a song you could probably imagine coming on like an Instagram feed of some sorts. Again, short, sweet, really nice. And that was pretty much it. What I've got to say for it, really.
The next track was Have a Good Summer Without Me. Very poppy song. I think the difference with this song compared to most of the other tracks so far, apart from track 2, I would say it felt like a proper song in the sense of, I can't remember the length of this song, I haven't written it down, but I'm guessing this is one of the longer ones. So yeah, it just felt more like a proper song, a bit more to it, a bit more, like substance to it compared to some of the shorter songs. So I could imagine this song in the charts, for example, had that kind of feel to it, kind of, just typical chart song. It's not bad.
Just to touch on that, I feel you're right there. I think probably again, like I said with the previous ones, and probably why I can't see that it, again, just it's missing that something to make a real sort of pop hit or something that you would really sort of remember and really enjoy. In terms of the sound of the music, I put here sort of reminds me sort of being like down by the beach, like off season though, so like in the winter all the time. Just I can't really explain it. It just has that sort of kind of vibe to it there. And again, sort of modern pop music, but I did feel it had a bit more of a 90s to noughties boy band kind of feel element to it. I kind of was written here, and again, very unique. I can imagine if McFly, well, and I know they are around now, but if old style McFly were like coming out now trying to do stuff, I feel like this is what they would sound like and what they would probably do really. That's all. I saw that modern boy band, but you know, play instruments as I won't say rock band, but that kind of feel to it there really. So that's what I kind of got from that one. I haven't said whether I absolutely really liked that one in comparison to others, but yeah, I felt more of that of a feel from it in this song.
So next up, we have Good But Not Together. So a very different start to this one, but then it livened up, but still only on the guitar. So I thought it was nice to hear a different kind of song. And again, another not bad song. Not like a really good song for me, but it was very listenable. And also interestingly, I think towards the end, certainly I could make out a female voice on this, even if it was only for a few seconds. I don't know if you picked up on that as well.
Yeah, I did actually pick up on that. But yeah, I think she was literally there for what, maybe one line, which I found quite weird. And I think we may hear her again a bit later if you picked up on her a bit later on. I think it's probably like when we say like things missing, that's probably one of the things still missing because it made it stand out a little bit. And even if she was only there for a short period of time, we've both written and both mentioned about her on there. Otherwise, for the song, again, I liked it. Again, probably missing that something to make it really sort of stand out. At least with this one, it was a bit, as you said, a different vibe as we get halfway through, which was good. For sort of a woodland acoustic vibe there, and again, that sort of classic sort of Instagram kind of sound of music. Yeah, this one, yeah, being so different to we've had from all the other, and it's quite nice to have that there. Yes, again, just a really nice, pleasant song.
So track 8 is called Evenings and Weekends. I thought this one had a slight 80s vibe to it. It wasn't making a big impression on me. It was just an okay song, but just not very memorable, like quite a few of these, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't disagree, and that's what I think. A lot of the songs, like I said, they don't sort of sound like if you mentioned like the name Tyler, it'd be hard to sort of really differentiate between the different ones. However, I would say with this one did stand out a little bit more for me, and I don't know why. Maybe just got me sort of the right time. And what I quite liked with this one, for some reason, I could imagine, and it's not often with songs where I can imagine if it was like a slow ballad, like if it'd been changed completely and was like a slow ballad song, be quite good. If it'd been a bit more clubby, with more upbeat stuff, I can imagine dancing into a club or something. It felt like it could have been adapted in many different ways. That's what sort of found stand out from there. And as you said, yeah, definitely that kind of sort of 80s kind of feel to it. I felt the lyrics for me picked up a little bit more on this one for me as well, because it felt like a real sort of emotional song, but sort of upbeat. But that's why I think I picked up on it could be done in different ways, really. So again, another one that I really liked, and it probably, yeah, for me personally, did stand out that little bit more than maybe some of the others, but only ever so slightly.
Track 9 was I Thought I Could Fly. Interestingly, and if you notice this was written with a small I, where, like I thought, so I with a small I, not a capital, and again, I before could is also a small I. I'm not quite sure the reason for that, because the other songs were not written like that. They had the capital I.
Can I quickly interrupt? Was Theme with a capital T, do you remember? Because I feel like maybe that it may have had a small T,
I'm
possibly.
Not sure.
But I did notice, it did have a little
sure.
I definitely in this one. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
So nice guitar start. I thought this was a nice change up, something a bit different, a change of pace, and overall a pretty nice track. That's all I've got for that.
Yeah, this almost felt like, I think if the other songs had been a lot longer, this definitely would have felt more like an interlude type of song. But because it's just as short as a lot of the others, it was just like a normal song. It felt like it was a different singer singing on this one as well. Definitely sort of a sort of deeper voice, but maybe it's the same singer without the synth stuff on. I don't know. But I still quite like that. Again, it felt a bit different. And again, it made it stand out a little bit different just purely on that. And otherwise, like you said there, it's another sort of nice, pleasant, relaxing song to listen to at home. Something you could probably imagine appearing on TVs or films as sort of background music. And then obviously it merges nicely into the next song as well. So yeah, liked it. And it's, again, had that little bit difference to it.
Yeah, so the next one was Either Way, I'm Going Your Way. So I put here, yeah, it feels like a continuation of the previous track, which well, I think it was. But then we had a total change up to the previous track once the song actually got going. I definitely felt with this one, the background music had an 80s feel to it. But I didn't particularly like this song, actually. I don't know, something about it just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, actually, I haven't got a lot on this one here, but probably like you, probably didn't like as much as the others because I didn't put a classy little smiley face next to it. But I definitely put sort of 80s upbeat background tune music going on here. But again, with some of the others, very quick, over before I've even had time to really maybe think too much into it. But like I said, because I haven't put a little smiley face to it, it definitely, for me, must have not been as good or as memorable as some of the other tracks I liked.
Next up, we have I Haven't Seen You in Forever. Sounds like a slow one, this one, from the beginning, but I put, oh no, it's actually a lively one. This one feels like a lot of the other songs on the album. It doesn't stand out for me. I think, yeah, with a lot of these kind of the livelier songs, the ones that are a bit more upbeat, I just feel as though they're lacking something, and this one was no exception. I put here maybe a slight Don Henley feel to it as well. So yeah, it was all right, but just nothing to shout about.
Yeah, I feel like Don Henley's been mentioned quite a few times recently as well.
I think he's my go-to. He's my go-to.
Yeah. Anything 80s, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do kind of remember this, and I do totally get that sort of thing there, because I've got here that sort of 80s kind of thing. And like you wrote, oh, it's going to be a nice slow, maybe ballads or something different here. But no, yeah, speeds up and gets back into his normal stuff straight away. And just like some of those earlier previous tracks, again, really nice, nothing to dislike or not like about it. But again, they are just missing that something to make it stand out. But that little bit, I don't think we used the term before, like that little X factor or little X element to it there. But again, all right. But yeah, haven't got a smiley face next to that one.
Track 12 was We Don't Need Malibu. So this one wasn't as lively, which is probably a good thing. So I thought it was quite a nice song, this. I put, calming, relaxing song. And at that moment, my wife was in the room as well, so I asked her what she thought about it. So this is my wife's words, not mine. She said, it's a good song, like when you wake up in the morning, like a morning day starter song, like to put on in the morning to help you get ready for the day. So that's what she thought about it.
Yeah, nice. It's nice to hear something probably different than the same sort of stuff that we're probably saying all the time. But yeah, I found it really relaxing. It was sort of like it wasn't like it was massively upbeat, but yeah, enough to really feel quite relaxing. Maybe it was one of my Swain songs. I don't know. Didn't put that down. The main thing I really ended up focusing on with this one was the fact having Malibu in the title. And I was thinking, you normally get products mentioned in lyrics loads of times, but in terms of titles of songs, don't really sort of get that to happen. I don't know whether there's a copyright kind of issue with that, how that kind of works. But I had to use the internet to help me out here. But the only other one I come up with was Bruno Mars's Versace on the Floor. otherwise, I just can't think of many, if any, really other songs that have product names in the title, which is quite unusual. Because I said you get them in song lyrics all the time, so there's never an issue there. But in titles, very rare. So if anyone can know or think of any others, feel free to put them in the comments section. So we've got Visage on the Floor by Bruno Mars and Here by the Valleys. We don't need Malibu.
Okay. Good spot. Good shout out. Right. Next up was Keep My Stuff. So again, my wife was in the room and she said it reminds her of Justin Bieber and kind of feels like a fake kind of feels like a fake Bieber. So in the sense of like she didn't like the song because if she wanted to listen to Justin Bieber, she listened to Justin Bieber kind of thing. Like, why listen to this guy? But as in what I thought of it, I thought it was, a real slow one. And like I said earlier, I prefer these sorts of songs on the album to the more lively ones. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Justin Timberlake instead of Bieber there. Yeah, I didn't pick up on the Bieber side of things because I've put here we've gone to it's almost like an acoustic kind of vibe, which really threw me with the Bieber sort of comments from there. But I think it did then sort of changed up. The main other thing I put here feels like there's maybe two different singers, so maybe that singer we heard earlier, so he appeared back in this one potentially, or again, it's just a change up in the voices. And I'm surprised you didn't say that this felt there was quite a few bits of sort of high pitched singing, which I know you're not a massive fan of there really. Yeah, otherwise again, haven't got all smiley faces, so it's probably not that memorable in comparison to the others.
Okay. So the next one is Big Jet Plane. I felt this one was a bit messy sounding. I think it was mainly because the instrumentals were a bit weird in this one, and the singing style to maybe a lesser extent. I'd say this is one of my least favourite songs on the album. Didn't really like this one.
Yeah, again, haven't got a lot of notes in this one. Just obviously now picking back up the same sort of tempo we did earlier from before the previous song there. I do feel myself swaying on this one. There is a bit of head bopping to it from there. But apart from that, I haven't got much else more to say.
And the last track then was Fishbowl. So this was a full-length song. So it had some different parts to it. A little bit like with the second track, Lost in Translation, where it had that kind of, slower part and then the more upbeat part. Some parts of this song I quite like. Now, I'm sure this isn't the case, but just because it's a full-length song, it almost felt like more effort has gone into writing and performing this song than a lot of the short ones. So anyway, so overall it was fairly decent. Quite liked it. And yeah, once you give your opinion on the song, I can go into more detail about kind of what I meant by that.
Yeah, I don't think I can say too much of this one. I also quite like this one because I felt like the last few they weren't that good, so it was nice to sort of hear. And I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, maybe it felt like there was a bit more to it. Now, whether the longer ones were maybe more of the release songs, I don't know. But the main thing I took from this that it definitely had this sort of more noughties pop boy band kind of ballad song. So I imagine it's a type of ballad that maybe like Blue or A1 kind of boy band elements would have done. And another thing that made it that little bit different, obviously, for the end part, I don't know for how long, we had just sort of the orchestral type of music and even some like sort of insects and birds kind of sounds at the end, which I thought was a nice way to sort of, end and sort of finish the album off, really. But yeah, I did get a little smiley face next to this one.
Okay, so if we're summing up, maybe I would have preferred it if they'd gone along, down the route of maybe having, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 songs, maybe kind of more, full length rather than quite a few short songs there. Because I thought they're kind of the full length songs just had a bit more to them. And I think with a lot of, or the vast majority of the requests that Girl for Life makes, I find like this album or most of the others that that I generally don't dislike the songs too much. Like there was a few that I wasn't so keen on, but even then, they're still not that bad. So if we're looking at like a scale of like 1 to 10, like with this album and a lot of the other albums we've listened to recently, I just feel like we're very much kind of in the middle. Like the bad songs are not that bad, but the good songs are not that good. So they're kind of like in mediocre territory for me. So yeah, positives with this, there's something about it, but again, like we've said a lot recently, I think just maybe lacking something with some of these songs. So yeah, it was nice generally. Not too much to dislike about the album, but just not maybe enough for me to say, oh, I really like this. I should imagine you probably something similar, maybe.
Yeah, to the words off there. Yes, very, very similar indeed. All those actual sort of key points again, like quite similar to the recent albums as well, where, for me, it felt a very sort of safe album. It's hard to dislike. It's hard for it to be offensive in any way. As I said in some of the songs we were talking about, them felt like they were missing things to really make it, stand out, be that little bit more. I suppose. But like also with the other albums as well, I feel like if any of these songs, even the ones that didn't like as much as probably some of the others, but I do feel if any of them did come up like on a random playlist for me, I'll listen to it, I'll enjoy it, and that would be that. I quite like the short songs on it, but I do get the same where there was quite a few sort of grouped together maybe, and again I think maybe it's different when we're sort of trying to critically review it, where you want to try and make that, and suddenly you feel like it's over and you're ready on to the next song and stuff there. But I quite like that because I feel like sometimes, not in the longer songs on this one, but maybe with other songs where you felt like, oh, I just went on that little bit too long, and actually if it'd been shorter, it's just enough to sort of be enjoyable enough without going too much going too far into the song. But yeah, I think as you said there, I think this probably is like sort of that middle of the road. Out of all sort of maybe the recent ones that we've done really. So yeah, hard not to dislike. Did enjoy seeing. Would I rush to want to try and listen through it to again? No, but and I think I've said the same line again. But if it came on, I was told to listen to it, I'd be more than happy to listen to it. So wouldn't rush to listen to it again, but be happy to listen to it again.
Right, just to be clear, you wouldn't rush listen to it again. You'd be happy to listen to it again, right? Is that right?
Exactly that. I think I'm sure you probably would feel the same there.
Okay, right. Well, that concludes our album review today. Keep the requests coming. You can request anything you want, any type of genre, as long as it's music. It can be X-rated, it can be clean, it can be
musicals.
It could be 90s pop. Everybody, hint, hint. It could be 90s pop. Okay, so that's it from us. Thank you, and see you again soon for the next one. Take care. Goodbye.